and welcome back to my channel. My name's Claire. If you haven't been here before, then a big warm welcome, and if you're a returning viewer, then it is amazing to have you here as always. So today is one of those let's just grab a cuppa and sit and have a chat vlogs, but it is a Slimming World one. So I just want to speak about what's been going on with me and Slimming World recently. As you will know if you've watched my last few vlogs, I have been having a bit of a motivational crisis when it comes to Slimming World. I've lost my mojo. There's just been too much other stuff going on and it's kind of fell on the back burner. It's not been too bad because I haven't put on a massive amount of weight and I've still been eating okay, but I haven't been on plan. That sort of on planness that loses you weight and gets you where you want to be and meets your goals and stuff. So I've got a holiday coming up in, it's less than 4 weeks now, and I had wanted to lose 7 pounds before that, which I mean, I guess it is doable, but it's quite a short amount of time and I don't want to put that much pressure on myself. So I'd like to lose a bit of weight, but if I don't lose 7 pounds, then that is fine. So anyway, getting my mojo back and getting back on my Slimming World plan. Last night I went for my weigh-in. I weighed in the week before, which was just after my Italy holiday, and I had put 2.5 pounds on. And then I weighed in again this week after I've been on plan-ish this week and I have lost ½ pound, so I'm really pleased with that. I went back to my group last night and I picked my book up and took that with me, and I've decided this week that I'm just going to go back to basics. So that is what I want to do in this chatty vlog. I just want to chat Slimming World basics, going through the book, and just how sometimes starting back at the beginning can be a good thing. I feel like recently I have overcomplicated things a bit. I'm constantly looking for new things to have because I got a bit bored of having the same old thing. I went to the extreme of trying not to cook any of the things that I'd had before or have the things that I had before, and that was just putting a lot of pressure on myself to constantly be looking for new things. And the other night, I think I woke up at about 2 o'clock in the morning, and honestly, you know those nights where you are just awake and your mind is clogging and clogging. I literally done my whole menu and shopping list in my head at 2 o'clock in the morning. So when I got up the next morning at 6:30, 7 o'clock, there I am with my pen and paper, writing down my shopping list and writing down the meals I'm gonna have. So I am taking it right back to basics, back to the stuff I used to love and enjoy that has always worked for me on Slimming World. It's very simple, it's very boring, it is just that easy cooking to do at the end of the day. So some of the recipes that will be coming up over the next few vlogs are just going to be my classic favourite Slimming World recipes. A few examples of those is I'm going to redo the lasagna I done a few vlogs ages ago. I'm going to be doing the lasagna, so sin-free lasagna. I'm going to be doing sticky chicken. I love this and I haven't cooked it for ages. It is on the Slimming World app, so if you are curious to know what that is before we cook it, you can find the recipe on the app. Just type in sticky chicken. It literally is a chicken that is cooked up in soy sauce and honey, might be some other ingredients, and it comes out quite like a sticky sort of honey coated chicken, which is really tasty. So I'm going to be having that next weekend. That's going to be my Saturday night dinner. I'm going to have it in a pita bread with some fudge, natural yogurt and jalapenos. It's going to be really like a fake away kebab, really low sin, yummy Slimming World dinner. Other things I have got on the menu this week include beef burgers. Again, I've been doing a lot of meals where I'm cooking twice. I'm cooking once for the kids and once for us. I don't actually like doing that. I would much rather we all sat down and ate together. So all of the meals I'm doing this week are focused on us sitting and eating as a family as well. So lasagna the kids love, the sticky chicken I think they will enjoy. Burgers I'm doing one night. I've ordered myself some large flat mushrooms, which I'm going to have instead of a bun on that occasion. Oh, I can't think of the other things I've got. I'm going to do Spanish chicken one day in the slow cooker. Got jacket potatoes one evening, I believe. I have a whole week's planned of just meals that I always used to cook that work well either with sweet potatoes, jacket potatoes, or chips or wedges, which we enjoy and cooked in a Slimming World way are sin-free, and a nice big salad, which makes it nice and simple. That is my sort of plan going forward for this week. For lunches, I intend on having some sandwiches, sort of a wholemeal roll with a sandwich filling and hula hoops, keeping that simple as well. Again, it's a lunch I really enjoy, and I've ordered some cans of drink. I find taking a can of fizzy and having just a different drink in the way can take away my sort of sweet cravings if I'm fancying a chocolate bar or crisps or something that I shouldn't be having. I find that helps, so I'm going to go with that. breakfast, I'm going to go back to my egg and bean bowls, poached egg and beans, or my high brown cereal, which I also really enjoy with some fruit. And that is it. I'm taking it back to basics. I'm making my life as simple as possible. I'm not looking for anything new to cook. I'm not looking for any new items. I'm just sticking with those basics that have always worked for me. So saying that, shall we have a little look through the book? Because I think it always does you good, even though I kind of feel like I know the Slim and Well plan like the back of my hand. It does you good to go through the book and have a little look. And also for those of you that maybe aren't a member at a group, it's an opportunity to just go through the plan and have a little look at things that might have changed. The foundations of Slim and World. 3 steps. So you have your unlimited free food. You can have as much of the free foods as you want. You get 2 healthy extra A choices and 1 healthy extra B choice. Your A choice is your milk and cheese, so getting the calcium in your diet. Your B choice is like your fiber, so bread or cereal, things like that. Wouldn't we all rather have 2 B choices than 2 A choices? And then your syns are the foods that we need to weigh and measure. Now, I just wanted to have a little chat about syns because a lot of people I read, obviously everyone has their own diet plan, weight loss plan, beliefs when it comes to weight loss. I love Slim and World because it works for me as someone who's pretty lazy. I don't want to be adding things up. I don't want to be counting. The only things I need to weigh and measure are my hex A's and B's. That is something that I let slide when I'm not totally on plan, and it makes a big difference. If you're not weighing your A's and B's, I just can't tell you how much difference it makes when you do that. And also write them down because it's very easy to forget whether you've had 1 or 2. I often will have cereal for breakfast and then find myself about to have a pita bread or something for dinner, which is fine if you syn it. It is not, you can't have that as an extra B choice. There's not 2 of those. So your syns. A lot of people say food shouldn't be sinful. You should be allowed to eat anything. Now, I do not see syns as a sinful food. For me, syns are, and it's not syns as in S-I-N, it is S-Y-N, and that is to do with, I can't think of the exact way of putting it, but it's to do with food synergy and the energy, nutrients and fullness you get from food. So for example, your healthy extra B is worked out by the fill-in power, how much fiber it has in it, and whether that is going to give you all of the fiber amounts you need. So you may have one brown roll which is a hex B and another which isn't. The one that isn't has probably got the same sort of calories and stuff, it just hasn't got the same amount of fiber and fill-in power. So your synned foods are generally foods that are very high in sugars, very high in fats. They're those little moreish treats that tend to trigger us to eat more foods that aren't great for us. So for example, your chocolate bars, your crisps, things like that, okay? But you can have your syns. Don't think of syns as sinful. So that was what I was saying. I don't think of a syn as a sinful thing. I think of syns as something that actually allows me to have all of the things I want to have and still be on a weight loss plan. It means that I can have mayonnaise in my sandwich. It means that I can have a Yorkshire pudding on my roast dinner. It is just calculated. Anyway, moving on. Step 1 is your free food. We've got so much free food to choose from on Slim and Well. So we've got all of our meats, poultry, fish, red meat, processed meat. You can have all of those things in unlimited amounts. So chicken, take the skin off. Pork, you're not going to be eating that crackling, okay? You've got a pork chop, cut the fat off. You've got bacon, try bacon medallions rather than a streaky bacon or a back bacon where you're going to have that fat. If you have got the fat, then cut it off. So other things that are free foods are your whitefish and shellfish, oily fish, so kippers, mackerel, pilchards, canned in brine or tomato sauce. Also on your free foods are your eggs and some dairy products, so fat-free natural yogurts and fromage frais, fat-free Greek yogurt, you can try those. Some corn are free. You're gonna need to check. This is where having the Slim and World app comes in amazing. I love that because I do go around the shop scanning everything before I eat it. It does, because sometimes you can think that something is a free food and it is not. So you've got your rice, pasta, noodles and grains, pearl barley. I love pearl barley in a casserole. That's really nice. You've got your rices, pasta, dried pasta, brown rice, and you'll also see symbols through the book. So it's telling you the foods that are high in calciums, high in fibres, and high in protein. Also on your free food, you've got all of your vegetables. Now, some vegetables have an S beside them, and that means they're a speed food. Your speed foods are your foods that are higher in filling power and lower in calories. So if you choose to opt for speed foods more than free food, it's probably going to help promote and prompt your weight loss. For instance, if you were eating a lot of potatoes, peas and sweet corn, they are not speed. They're free food, so you can have them. But if you replaced peas and sweet corn with, say, broccoli and Brussels sprouts, they're speed foods. Or your stir fry veg, they're speed foods. So try replacing free foods with speed foods wherever you can. Replace your peas and sweet corn for a salad. That is going to give you more speed food. So you're filling up on food that has less calories in it, and that's going to promote weight loss. Your beans, peas and lentils, these are all free foods. Obviously, these are foods that are not in sauces and stuff. If you've got beans or lentils that are in a sauce or a flavoured sauce, always best to scan those because there is a chance they will hold a syn value. So fruit is mainly free food. A lot of fruit is speed food as well. Again, wherever you can, like bananas, I love a banana, really healthy. I love having a banana before I go running, and it is a great food to have as a free food and enjoy, but it's not a speed food. So if you're looking to promote your weight loss and you really want to push it this week, try having an apple instead of a banana as your snack, and you'll be taking less calories in and you'll be eating speedier foods, which are still going to fill you up, but they're going to help promote your weight loss that little bit extra. For cupboard staples, there's lots of things that we can have in our cupboard to help make our food a little bit tastier. And a lot of these are free. All of our herbs and spices are free, unless, just check, some spice mixes come pre-blended with oils. Don't get ones with oils in because they will hold a syn value. Healthy Extra A choice is your milk or calcium. So I'm going to talk about some of my favourite things that I use as a Healthy Extra A choice. One of my Healthy Extra A's is generally always skimmed milk. I believe it is 300 millilitres, but I'd have to check on that for a Healthy Extra A. I do drink quite a few cups of tea and coffee in a day. Tea and coffee are syn free, not coffee shop coffee, okay? If you're going to go and get a large latte, then you would need to syn that milk, especially if it is whole milk. You do need to check on your coffees and stuff. The syrups will also be synned, although there are some places that do sugar-free ones, which is fab. My favourite Hex A's, I love Baby Bells. You can get Baby Bell Lights. 3 of those, I believe, are a Hex A. I think they make a really excellent snack. As you know, I love making my rice pudding, and I do tend to use the Outpro No Sugars coconut milk for that. I believe 300 or 400 is your Hex A. In the summer, I really enjoy using feta cheese. In fact, I am making TikTok pasta. That's one of the dishes that is on this week. So feta cheese is a great one to use one of your Hex A's for. Parmesan, if you want some Parmesan on top of your spag bowl, use that as a Hex A. Low-fat cheddar cheese, 40 grams of that is a great Hex A. They're most of the things I use for my Hex A's. And that is just making sure you're getting the calcium in your diet, which is where the balancedness of the Slim and Well diet comes in. B choices, your bread and cereal. Some of my favourite Hex B's include, so Aldi Everyday Essentials. This is a full-size wholemeal loaf that you can get, and I love having that. I keep it in my freezer to make sandwiches for lunch, or like just now, I've just had scrambled eggs and cherry tomatoes on toast. That is really nice. 2 slices of toast, scrambled eggs and cherry tomatoes. You can't go wrong with that, and it makes you feel like you're just eating everyday normal stuff. I mean, before I would have had 2 slices of white bread with butter. Don't have any butter on my bread, although I could if I chose one and synned it. Other things I love as a B choice, wholemeal pita breads, wholemeal bread rolls, the Slim and World Hi-Fi bars, absolutely love those. I don't know if I could pick a favourite flavour. I do love the fruit and nut, peanut, and the triple chocolate. Yeah, they're my favourites. So 2 of those for a Hex B, which is amazing. Look, there's 400 ml of the coconut milk that you can have. That is great for making rice pudding, and that is one of my favourite Slim and Well things to make. Some grab and go options in here, which is always handy to know. Just a few of those 3 Dairylea light cheese slices, or 3 Dairylea original triangles, or you can have 4 Dairylea light triangles. So sometimes it's a choice. between whether you want more of something or if you want something that to you is going to taste better, because sometimes I would say probably a full fat dairy lead triangle tastes better than a light fat one, but you're choosing whether you want 3 that taste better than 4 that taste slightly less better. It is making those decisions, but the decisions are in your hands, and you can give yourself some really lovely food. There's no need to miss out on anything. There's loads of cereals in here that come under your healthy extra B choices. Which cereal you choose, the amounts do slightly vary. And there are some cereals that are a bit heavier, so you're kind of better off having something different. Like I love the High brand by Asda. I'm sure that is 50 grams, not 40 grams. I don't think it's in here. That's really tasty, and you get quite a lot of that for the weight. It's 50 grams of Kellogg's All Bran, and I think the High Bran is pretty similar to that, so I'd say that is a 50 gram one. Porridge goes a long way. 40 grams of porridge oats makes really nice with a Muller Light or something to make your overnight oats. There are loads of things you can have in here for Hex Bs. I think there's more Hex B things than we actually realise. There's nuts and seeds. I never even really thought of them in your Hex B, but 20 almonds, 6 Brazil nuts, 15 cashew nuts. There's not very many. I'd rather have probably bread than 15 cashew nuts, but you know, it's whatever you fancy. Also dried fruit, canned fruit and cooked fruit that comes under Hex Bs. Who knew that? So you can have 50 grams of dried apple, 40 grams of dates. So then the book goes on to speak about syns, and I think that is the bit that trips a lot of people up. So 5 to 15 syns. Now a lot of the time when I've done Slimming World, I try just not to use my syns every day. Like you get up to 15, but if you want to speed your weight loss up and you can drop those syns, then that is a good thing, because there's so much free food you can have. It's not always needed. For instance, if I do make up a rice pudding this week, I can have that for dessert most nights, and I don't need to go into a 5 syn mini tiny chocolate bar when I can have this huge dish of rice pudding, which is really nice and filling, with maybe half a syn or a couple of syns of a sauce or something drizzled over it. Again, we've got syns on alcohol. How does alcohol affect you? Like I try to only drink at the weekend when I'm at home, because I find it, I don't want to make myself sound like an alcoholic here, but if I have a glass of wine, then I'm very tempted to have a second glass of wine, and it is knowing your limits. And then if you have a glass of wine, that sometimes goes very well with some peanuts or a bag of crisps, doesn't it? So it is knowing what's going to trigger you and avoiding those things. So I'd rather just not have a glass of wine and just have one at the weekend. Obviously skipping your glass of wine, and if you do feel like you need a little drink in the evening, going for a gin and slimline tonic or a vodka and slimline tonic is going to be much better. And I know I did buy a Whitley Neal rhubarb and ginger alcohol-free gin, which when I mixed with tonic, to be honest, I probably wouldn't know if someone gave it to me whether it was the alcohol one or not, and it was only 1.5 syns for a measure of that, so that was really good. There's so many things in here, loads of synned things, and again, I don't know if synned is a good word or a bad word, because I know that synned doesn't relate to syns, but when you say syn, people think sinful, don't they? I see my syns as just things to make my food tastier, like having some mayonnaise, having a glass of wine. If I was told I couldn't have something, the first thing I am going to want is whatever that thing is. So it works well for me knowing that I'm choosing not to have a glass of wine, not I can't have a glass of wine, if that makes sense. Let's talk about some good swaps that we can make in Slimming World. Maybe if you've got any good swaps that you've made or new Slimming World foods that you've tried, you could add them in the comments, because as much as I look out for new things, we're all a bit prone to sticking to the same stuff, and then someone else, this is one of the beauties of going to groups, someone else suggests something that you hadn't even thought of, which is great. So a few of the things that I swap and switch when I'm on Slimming World is obviously the main one, or one of the immediate ones that everyone tends to go for when you first start Slimming World, is swapping from an oil to a cooking spray. I tend to use the Fry Lights. I currently have a Flora one, so if you don't want to use, because I do read a lot about people say like this, ingredients in Fry Light aren't necessarily what they would want to have. I know a friend of mine said before, Slimming World encourages you to eat shit. And I was like, what do you mean? I eat really healthily on Slimming World. But she was referring to some of the swaps. For instance, swapping Coca-Cola for a Diet Coke or a Pepsi Max, which has synthetic sugars in. Obviously, you don't have to make that swap, but if you want to cut down your calories, you're either going to have to cut down, have a very small glass of Coke and use your syns for that, or you can have the unlimited amounts of the Pepsi Max. But if you're someone who doesn't want to have artificial sweeteners, then that's just something you're going to have to cut out. So have water or have a different drink. There is always an alternative. You haven't got to have those things. The same sort of thing people say about Fry Light, again, because of, I don't know, synthetic ingredients. I don't know what the word is for the ingredients that are in them. But you don't have to have that. I have got a Flora sunflower spray, which is an actual sunflower oil, and that is 5 sprays for half a syn. So there is always an alternative. Slimming World isn't telling you to eat anything. It is putting foods forward which are cutting out that fat and calories. So it's how you take on board the diet and which way you choose to go. So yeah, high sugar drinks, swap for sugar-free drinks. Again, yogurts, Muller Light is one of my favorites. I love those. Before, I probably would have had a corner yogurt or a full flavored Greek yogurt, but you can swap, and a Muller Light is half a syn or 1 syn for the ones with the chocolate in them. Again, there are sweeteners and things in them, so it's personal choice, isn't it? Look, see what's on the market. There are other alternatives. You don't have to have those things, but this just means that you can have a different version of something you would have had. You don't have to have it. We all know we'd all be better off eating a diet of organic fruit, veg, and you know. So other swaps that you can make would be swapping your white bread for a wholemeal roll, for the, say, like I said, the Aldi Essentials loaf. That is a good swap. So you're swapping what would be a synned slice of white bread for what can be your healthy extra B choice. Cheeses, I tend to choose to go with a lower fat cheese. You get a bigger portion of that. You can have a full fat cheese, and I believe a cheddar you would get 30 grams. I have the lighter one, you get 40 grams. Again, a choice. Choose more or choose a fuller fat version. I lost my train of thought there. Anyway, so these are all the reasons Slimming World works for me. It works for me because I can still have all of the foods I like and enjoy, and by using my syns, I can still include those little naughty things, but in a controlled manner. Now, speaking about things that can trip us up and syns, when I am on plan, I do try and use my syns just in sauces and things like that, and also for maybe a glass of wine at the weekend. I do try and avoid too many sweet things. I am that person that I see lots of people, they have their syns and they use them, for instance, on a 2-finger Kit Kat bar, or like a mini Freddo, or things that are 5, 10 syns, but you can still have like a chocolate bar at the end of the day. I am that person that if I buy a 6-pack of mini Kit Kats and they're 5 syns, I'd say to myself, they're 5 syns, I can have one a night, that is my nightly treat. That is fine if you're someone who can do that. I will have one of those Kit Kats with a cup of tea, and then I'll go back in the kitchen and I'll probably eat the rest of the pack. Like, it is a trigger food for me, and triggers are something that if you can get to know your trigger foods and what will set you off, it's really good to know. Now, I know that I'm a bit of a binge eater. If there is sweet stuff, my poor children, they only get like cereal bars and stuff for their snack drawer, because if I buy chocolate snacks, they are gone. Honestly, I've done it before. I can remember they had like gold bars on offer in Asda, so I bought them for the kids. It's like 3 of the strips that you get of gold bars all in one like mega bundle. I don't think my children saw one of them, because literally every time I went in the kitchen, a gold bar came out with me, and I'll just keep eating them. I am a binge eater. I don't have an off switch. I can eat and eat and eat. I don't eat a chocolate bar and think, that's it, that's my chocolate fix done. I eat a chocolate bar and I think, right, where's my next chocolate bar? I honestly don't have an off switch, and I am quite lethal when it comes to things like that once I've got that taste. That pack of Kit Kats could sit on my fridge unopened and they'll be fine. give me one of those Kit Kats and I'm gonna eat the whole packet. Like, I know that that is a massive trigger for me. The same as having things like big bags of crisps and stuff. Like, I tend to buy crisps for the children, but I do buy the baked varieties. I do buy hula hoop puffs. I always have those in stock now. In stock, I sound like I'm a shop. I always have those because they're 3.5 cents for the packet. So if I fancy crisps, I can have them. I do tend to buy lower calorie crisps for the kids anyway, because again, if I had like Walker's cheese and onion up there, I'd want to eat them, and I'd want to eat them all. I wouldn't just have one packet, I'd have two. If I have a packet of crisps, I have 2 packs of crisps. That is me. I am a greedy, bingy person. If I don't do it, I'm okay, but once I start, I'm gone. And this would be amplified in the evening, was I drinking a bottle of wine. So this is, again, make myself sound really greedy, but I do like food. I enjoy food, and I can enjoy food and still enjoy food on Slimming World, and that's what makes it great for me. So this week, I'm just blabbering now. So this week I'm going back to making my nice big meals that I can make for the whole family. I can enjoy a big portion that I can fill up on. My plate is going to be full of free food. There's going to be meat. It's going to be my potatoes, my chips, my wedges, whatever. And then I'm going to have a nice big portion of a healthy salad. I have a Hellmann's fat-free vinaigrette dressing at the moment, which I really enjoy on my salad. I find that a great alternative to mayonnaise, although I do generally always still want a bit of mayo to dip my chicken in or whatever. I do love mayo with my dinner. Again, syns, those lovely little things that help us feel like we're not on a diet, come in great for adding sauce and flavour to your meals. Like, don't skip it. If you like a blob of ketchup, then syn it and have it. You're gonna make yourself, if you make yourself feel like you're going without, that's when you're gonna wanna binge out and when you're gonna wanna have something else that you possibly shouldn't have. So enjoy a few syns as part of your meals. Make your meals taste nicer, enjoy them, feel satisfied, feel full, and that is gonna help you along. Helps me along. I'm not gonna tell you what's gonna help you along because it might not help at all, but it helps me. Anyway, that is my catch up on Slimming World this week. So I have planned my meals. So some of the meals we have got coming next week. I will try and vlog. There's a new cookbook coming out, which looks really nice. Again, I think that's the 20th or 26th of May. So that'll be actually while I'm on holiday, but I will get it when I get back and try some recipes out of that. But there's no recipes this week. It's just gonna be cooking. It's gonna be basics. It's gonna be dead simple, easy. So lasagna, sticky chicken, TikTok pasta with salmon, possibly. Did I get a salmon? Yeah. TikTok pasta, Spanish chicken, jacket potatoes. I'm doing a fry up Sunday morning for breakfast. Again, I haven't done that for ages. Me and the kids and Mark, like, I love doing a fry up, Slimming World fry up. Like, I want to enjoy food with my family. I think I've gone too much, a bit divided recently, where I've been cooking different meals, and that's just, again, complicates things and makes it harder work, and I've got to the point where you can't be bothered. So taking it back to basics is what I am doing this week. So I'm going to leave it there. I hope you're all feeling happy and motivated. I'd love to hear how you're getting on at the moment. I mean, maybe some of you have been feeling a bit demotivated like me. Maybe you've been wishing ahead and losing weight and feeling great. Continue doing what I'm doing. I am feeling a lot more motivated this week. I hope to bring you some food that is enjoyable, suitable for creating on just busy, chaotic life. You know, I don't know what you have going on your life. I do, a lot of you actually, because I hear from you all the time. But hopefully I can bring you some food that is just very simple, easy, comes together in a busy life, works with the kids, works with the family, works with working. That's how it's got to be with me. I'm so busy. I don't want to overcomplicate things. I just want to enjoy a nice dinner at the end of the day. And that is what I plan to bring to you in a Slimming World. That is what I plan to bring to you in a Slimming World style. I hope you enjoyed the vlog. I hope to speak to you all again soon. And like I say, I'm going to try and do a couple of vlogs over the next couple of weeks to get all of these yummy recipes on here for you. Some nice, simple, back to basics Slimming World cooking, and I'll see you in the next one.